everyone. In this video, we will discuss about the steps to connect Express and MongoDB using Mongoose. In my earlier videos, I have shown you how to set up MongoDB. Okay. So in this video, I will show you how to connect Express and MongoDB using Mongoose. So these are the steps, prerequisites. We need to install Node.js and MongoDB. Okay. Then we need to initialize the project, create a folder and run npm init y, for package.json. And we need to install dependencies like Express, Mongoose, body parser. And we need to set up MongoDB. For this, I will share the link in the description. You can go through that video on how to start MongoDB and set up MongoDB. After that, we will write server code and we will run the server and we will test the endpoints for get, post, put and delete routes using Postman. And we will verify the records in MongoDB. So let's start with the basic code. So firstly, we need to require to import the modules. So we will import the modules first. We'll import the Express module. Another one is we require Mongoose. So Mongoose is a library that is helpful in connecting MongoDB to Express. So why we require Mongoose? For MongoDB interaction. Fine. Then we require body parser for handling JSON data. We require body parser. Why we require body parser? For handling JSON data. Another one is CRUD. CRUD is required to allow requests from other origins because we are using Postman here. So CRUD is required, otherwise it will give error. So this is the Postman URL. Const app is equals to Express. Now we need middleware for passing JSON data because from Postman we will be sending data in JSON format in the body section. App.use body parser .json. So what is this? This is the middleware for parsing JSON data. Middleware for parsing JSON data. So now the next step is we need to connect MongoDB connection URL. Let's specify MongoDB connection URL. So and store it in some variable Mongo URI. And by default the MongoDB connected to 27017 port. MongoDB localhost 27017. This is the default port for MongoDB. And let's say you can give any name for your DB. Let's say we are giving my test DB. So now what we need to do? We need to connect to MongoDB using Mongoose. We have installed Mongoose package. Now what we need to do? Connect to MongoDB using Mongoose. So Mongoose, this is the syntax, mongoose dot connect mongo URI. Okay, this is the syntax to connect MongoDB to Mongo using Mongoose. Now, if there is an error, we will write dot then. If there is no error, then we need to print console connected to MongoDB successfully. Connected to MongoDB successfully. And in case of any errors, what we need to do? We need to use dot catch and we will specify error and we will do console error connecting to MongoDB. Error connecting MongoDB. Okay. Comma error. We'll print the error which is coming. Okay. So now we have connected to MongoDB using mongoose.connect. Okay. Then what we need to do? We need to create a Mongoose schema. Create a Mongoose schema. Okay. So const. Let's say we are making user schema equals to new mongoose dot schema. Let's say we are having name which is of type string. Okay. Email, name of type string, similarly email, and age, email, age of type number. Okay, so we have created a Mongoose schema. Now we need to create a Mongoose model based on this schema. Create a Mongoose model based on the schema. Const user, let's name it user, is equals to mongoose.model and the name of the collection will be user, comma, we will pass the schema here. Okay, so this user, it will be the name of the collection in MongoDB. Okay, so this user will represent the users collection. Why users? Because when DB is generated, when collection is generated, it will be in the plural format. If we are passing user, then it will be generated to users. And if we are passing man, then it will be in the plural format, that is men. Okay, it automatically converts to the collection name to plural. Collection in MongoDB. So now what's the next step? We need to generate routes to create a, firstly we need to create a new user. So let's generate a route to create a new user. So app.post /users. Okay, this is our endpoint users, async request, response. So here we will do try and catch, try const user is equals to new user req dot body. So whatever we need to create a new user, we need to send that format, this format, name, email and age in the body section. Okay, so firstly what we will do, let's run the MongoDB first. Go to cmd. Okay, so here we will run the MongoDB command. Okay, now let's go in the postman. Okay, let's first comment this code and we will run this start the server first. Okay, server is running on port http localhost 3000. Okay, so now let's run it. Node Express. You can see MongoDB is running successfully. Okay, and what we need to do now, what's the error now? Cannot access app before initialization. Okay, let's see what's the error. App.use CRS. Okay, okay, so this we will put after the initialization. Okay, now let's run the code again. So connected to MongoDB successfully. Okay, and server is running on port 3000. Okay, let's copy it and go to the postman. This is the URL. Okay, so firstly we will get it. Okay, but we have not made the method of get request yet. So let's try what it is showing. Okay, this is showing cannot get users because we haven't created the method yet. Okay, so firstly we need to create a new user using post. Okay, and here in the body section what we need to pass, we need to pass the schema. Okay, so let's go to the code. We need to pass this name, email and age. Okay, for the post request to create a new user. Let's uncomment the code. So const user is equals to new user req.body. Okay, let's go to postman. This is the body section. Okay, whatever we are passing here, it will be, we will get here using req.body, request.body. Okay, so now what we have done here, we have create a new user instance with the request body. Okay, And another thing, now what we need to do, let's say we have created a new user and sense. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to save it. Await user dot save. This command, what it will do, it will save the user to the database. Save the user to database. We have used await here because of async. Okay, we have used async in the function, so that's why we are using await here. So now, after saving the user to database, we will send status res.status 201. 201 status is for created a new user. Okay, and in the response, we will send this user. Okay, and in case of any error, okay, in case of any error, we will use catch error res.status. What will be the status in case of error? 400. Okay, .json, that error message. Error will be error.message. This error object contains message inside it. Okay, so it will respond with an error if something went wrong. Okay, so now what's the error here? Store body, wait user. Okay, so now let's run the code again. We have created a user. Okay, so let's make a get request also, so that we in the postman we can get the users also. So let's make a get request route to fetch all the users. Okay, so what's the syntax? App.get /users async request comma response. Okay, let's use type block. Const users is equals to await user dot find. Okay, this is the user dot find. This is the MongoDB method. Okay, it will fetch all the users from database, from DB. Okay, and once we got the users, we will send the response res.json users. Okay, respond with list of users. And in case of any error, we will copy it. In case of any error, we will send status as 400, okay, with error message. Okay, now let's run the code. As we can see, we are connected to MongoDB successfully. Okay, let's go to Postman. Let's make a get request also. Get URL will be same. This will be the users, will be the endpoint. And in the get request, we do not need to pass body because we are fetching only. Let's send. As we can see, we are getting a empty response. Why? Because firstly we need to create a user. So how we will create it? We will create it using post request, and in the body section we need to send the schema. So this is the schema. We need to send name, email and age. In the double string, name, let's say Kashish, email, let's say k@k.com, and age, let's say 32. Okay, so now click on send. Okay, so it means user has been created successfully. We have got the 201 created status. Let's see in the code. App.post users, we are using post method to users endpoint. Okay, now we are using a create a new user instance with request body. This is the req.body. This is the in req body. This thing will go. Okay, then we are saving this in the database and we are sending response 201 and this user body. Okay, whichever is in the body section we are sending as it is. Okay, let's go to Postman. So this id and underscore v, it is automatically generated by MongoDB. Okay, this is the default id and underscore v. Now let's go to get request. We have created a user. Now it should not be blank. Okay, see, we have fetched the user. Now say we want to create some another user. Let's say name is Raj r@r.com. Age will be, let's say 36. Do send. So we have created another user. Now in the get request we will get two users. One is Kashish and another one is Raj. Okay. So we have understand the get and post route. So now let's go to put route. What happened in the put method? Suppose we want to update a user by its ID. So in that case we will use put method. Okay. Let's suppose we want to change the email ID. Okay, or we want to update the age, or we want to update the name. Okay, in that case we will use put method. So let's create a route to update a user by its ID. Okay, so app.put /users. Okay, so after users we need to provide ID, and here we are making it dynamic because there are many users and each user has its specific ID. Okay, so here we are making it dynamic using this column. Now we will use async request comma response. We will use try method. Inside try we will fetch the ID. Okay, in the URL we are passing /users. This is the endpoint /ID. Okay, this is in the query parameters. Okay, so we will have to fetch the ID from the parameters, request parameters. So how we do it? ID is equals to req.params. Okay, so what we have done, we have extracted the user ID from the request parameters. Okay, this is the request parameters /ID. we have extracted the ID. So now const updated user is equals to await. Now we need to write the MongoDB method user dot find ID and update. Okay. So what it will do, whatever the ID it will get, it will find the user by that ID and will update that, whatever we will be sending in the body section. So ID, comma, request.body, comma, that ID will be updated by the req.body. Whatever we are sending in the body section, it will override the user by that ID. Then we will make it new true. Okay, it means it will return the updated document. Okay, this new true means it will return the updated document. So now let's suppose if the user send the incorrect ID. So in that case, what we will do? In that case, if there is no updated user, okay, because user ID is incorrect, then we will send the response as return res.status 400, okay, .json with error message user not found, error user not found. Okay, else if user is found, then we will send res.json that updated user. This is the updated user. Okay, now in case of any error, we will use catch block, copy it, paste it here after the try. Okay, so let's run it and let's check the how to update it. So connected to MongoDB successfully. Let's go to the Postman. Let's make a put request. Okay, paste the URL. URL will be this endpoint users. Okay, suppose we want to change the email ID of Kashish. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to firstly take the ID of it. Okay, /ID. Okay, then in the body section, what we need to do, copy it, in the body section we need to pass the updated data. Suppose we want to update the ID and age. ID will be Kashish @k.com and age should be updated to, let's say, 40. Okay, from 32 to 40, and let's click on send. Updated user is not defined. Okay, we need to check the code. Updated user is not defined. Both /user/id. Okay, Okay, we have passed it wrong. Now let's connect it again, because every time we are making the changes, we need to run the server again. Here the error was U was capital, but we need it small. That's why it was giving this error, updated user is not defined. Okay, so let's run it again. Bad request. It's now connected to MongoDB successfully. Let's check it again. Okay, updated user. Here it is also capital. Okay, so now run it again. Let's go to Postman. Is it still running? Yeah. Server is yet to start. It's started. Let's click on send. Now we can see email is updated successfully and age is now 40. Okay, earlier it was 32, now it is 40. Now let's go to get request. We will fetch. This is the old data. We will fetch it again. Now age will be updated to 40. Okay, so now this is the updated data from database. Okay, so we have learned get, post and put methods. Now the final is delete. How to delete a user by its ID. Route to delete a user by its ID. Let's copy this whole code. We will change it here. So instead of put, we want delete. Okay, and this endpoint, it will be same because we need to pass its ID to delete the user. Okay, we need to extract the ID also from the request parameters. Okay, so now instead of updated, we need to delete. Deleted user. Okay, find ID and delete. This is the MongoDB method. Okay, we need to pass only ID to delete that, because in the body we are not going to pass anything. Just we need to pass ID in the parameters. If ID is not present, we will write user not found with response status as 404. Okay, here also we need to write 40. Yeah, here we can write 400. Okay, user not found, is shown. Otherwise, if user is found, we need to send user as, we need to send message. What will be the message? User deleted successfully. Deleted successfully. Okay, then we can also pass the deleted user. Whatever the user deleted, we can pass that. Okay, let's run the code again and let's check it. So this is the, we have created the route to delete a user by its ID. So as we can see, it is connected to MongoDB successfully. Let's go to Postman. And in the get request, we are getting two users. Suppose we want to delete the user with name Raj. So let's take its ID. Create another route. Instead of get method, we will use delete. Copy this URL. and we want to delete this Raj. Take its ID, paste it here, click on send. And in the delete method, we do not need to pass body. Okay. Message user deleted successfully. Okay. So why it went into the error state? Invalid status code, user deleted successfully. Okay, let's go to code. Okay, return res to okay. So here user not found, user deleted successfully. Do not need to pass deleted user. Let's go to Postman. $500. Okay. So let's check it again. As we can see here in the get request, the user should be deleted. Because it is still running. It is connected to MongoDB successfully. So now we can see that only Kashish is there. We have deleted the Raj. Let's create another one. Let's create Raj again. Post request. Raj is created successfully. Let's get it. Okay. Now we want to delete Kashish. Let's go to the delete method. Paste the ID here. Click on send. And in the delete method, we do not need to pass the body section. Just the ID is sufficient. Okay. So user deleted successfully. Let's go to get request. Now only Raj name will be there because we have deleted Kashish. See, Raj is there. So we have studied get, post, put and delete. We have studied the CRUD operations. Okay. So what put is doing, it is updating a user in the database by their ID, and delete is deleting a user in the database by the ID, and get request, it is fetching all the users. Post is creating a new user. Okay, so we have studied how to connect Express to MongoDB and studied all the CRUD operations. And guys, I will be sharing this whole code and you can take it from my GitHub repository. I will share the link in the description, and I will share the link of how to set up MongoDB in the description that I have discussed it in the earlier videos.